Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 most important events in cubing history. So just before we start the video, I want to hit 100 subs by the end of the year, so smash that subscribe button and it would mean a lot to me if I got to that amount. And this is also my first scripted video, so I hope it's not as messy as my other commentary videos. Alright, let's start. Felix Speeding Erik Akkersdijk's world record, then proceeding to get the next 6 world records. I put these two in the same one because they happened within 9 months of each other and I didn't want to make a bunch of points for no reason. So if you don't know Erik Akkersdijk, or you're new to the community and you weren't around back then, I obviously wasn't. He was like an absolute dominant figure from 2007 to 2010, and he set 2 3x3 single world records and 1 3x3 average world record. On July the 12th, 2009, he set a time of 7.08, which was over 1.5 seconds dropped off the last world record, which was held by Yu Nakajima. Erik's world record stood for almost 2.5 years, but then around this point, Felix and Eggs joined the speedcubing world. He beat Erik Akkersdijk's time by 0.05 seconds, getting a 7.03 single, then in the same day, the first sub-7 single ever recorded. From there, he set 5 more 3x3 world records, bringing him to where he is today, known as the avid record breaker. If he hadn't achieved these records, we might not know him as well as we do now. And it also pushed the community forward, which set a challenge for all of the elite speedcubers. Yu Chengdu's sub 4 3x3 single. On November 24 of 2018, Yu Chengdu broke the Felix and Eggs record of 4.22 seconds. Obviously, a record being broken is super expected and it happens all the time, but what we didn't expect was a solve that was under 4 seconds, and it was from someone who was almost unknown in the cubing community, and he averaged 8 seconds in competition. At first, a lot of people were skeptical, obviously, because we only saw photos, but then a security footage from the venue was released. It just goes to show how luck-based cubing can be sometimes, and like I said before for the last event, this record has pushed the cubing community forward. The release of the Gann X. Gann is a speedcube company that is known for its high quality puzzles and unique hardware, but one of their puzzles revolutionized the cubing world, and that was the Gann X. The Gann X offered the regular Gann stuff, GES customization, blah blah, all that. What else did they offer? Magnet customizability options. This really set the tone for being able to customize your cube, and now almost every single flagship cube has the ability to be customized. It also pushed up the standards and performance of cubes, and now cubes are insanely good and you can customize them in any way you want. The exposing of Mattias Kuti. In 2007, there was a guy called Mattias Kuti that held a bunch of world records for different events, and if you're new to the speedcubing community, you probably won't know him because I didn't know him until I watched a video about him. He was also insanely good at blindfolded, and he was ahead of everyone else, getting a 77 out of 77 in multi-blind. And for some reason no one was skeptical, but that all changed when one day someone posted something on a speedcubing forum, and it was regarding Mattias Kuti cheating. And apparently one of his solves, the one on screen right now, he was using a regular method, and when he messed up the solve, he just started it again rather than undoing his moves like other solvers, which meant that he could see what he was doing, which meant that he knew he was making a mistake. In the end, the WCA came to the conclusion that he was peeking under the blindfold and was banned until 2010 and never came back since. After this, people were a lot better at exposing and finding evidence, leading to more people getting banned and stricter rules. This also helped the community become better as no one would cheat, fearing that they would end up like Mattias. The release of the Dayan Zhanchi. If you're new to the cubing community, you might not know what the Zhanchi is, but I'm sure you've heard it muttered around between some people. Basically, the Zhanchi is basically a thing of the past now, but in 2011 when it was released, all of the other cubes were DIY cubes, meaning that you had to set them up correctly, and it was almost impossible to do so. However, a great company called Dayan, who had recently released the Guhong, which was a great cube at the time, released a new cube, which was called the Zhanchi. The Zhanchi was the first cube to introduce a stability system, and back then it was a breakthrough invention. And I know that sounds silly, but at the time, most cubes didn't have anything in the edge piece to keep it stable and non-flimsy, so the only cube that wouldn't pop was the Rubik's brand, and that was trash. Anyways, with the release of the Zhanchi, Other companies got super inspired, and this is what sparked the companies we know today. Fangxi wanted to compete with Dayan, so they made the Strong Ren, which was released in 2013 and was most Cuba's mains at the time. But then about a month later, Moyu came along and released the Wei Long, and then Shengsha wanted to compete with Moyu, so they made the Aurora. And the list would go on, and I could continue all the way up to the newest cubes, but I won't do that. It shows how much the Zhanchi rewrote cubing history. And guys, that is my top 5 list for most important events in cubing history. If you have any video suggestions and want to see more of this, you can comment those suggestions below. If you guys want similar videos to this, 15 likes and I'll try to make another top 5 list. As always, like the video and subscribe to my channel. See you all next time.